Every dream starts small. FedEx, the first night in business, you know how many packages they moved? 15. Let's not forget that Richard Branson started off with a little college newspaper when everyone laughed at him. Every dream starts off small, but you want to start and move it forward each and every day. And while everyone else laughs at you and criticizes you, pay no heed to them. Keep on moving your dream forward, because there is something magical about sticking to your dream longer than anyone around you thinks you have a right to stick to that dream. Starting with a little dream like building your business and saying, I'm going to get out there and I'm going to talk to people and I'm going to take risks and I'm going to work on myself and I'm going to be extraordinary. Because the days slip into weeks, the weeks slip into months, the months slip into years. Before you know it, 5 years have gone by. 1 year has gone by. Well, 1 year is going to go by anyway. Why not get there world class in this business, world class in your life?
Dr. Cam Todd here with the first part of a 4-part series on how to handle cold call objections and handling. How to maneuver and handle prospect objections and increase your closing rates. So when we first got started with shipper recruiting, we started doing some phone calls and things of that nature, we noticed that the rejection rate can be kind of high if you don't have a game plan. Okay? But we're going to learn a few things about how to handle that game plan. So settle in, kick back, get your favorite chair and a little background music, and let's talk about how to handle objections. So confidence is the key to handling objections. Act as if the objection is normal and not a big deal or no problem at all. This guide is all about handling the objections and not the sales process itself. If you have an objection that you've been hearing about a lot that's not covered in this guide, please email me or give me a call. Bring it up in one of the classes, included in the full-blown broker course. Something we're going to run into time and time again. Don't be afraid of the objection. Instead, you want to move towards the objection. They're doing this to every person who calls them every minute of every day. And when you're able to handle the objection right, they'll know they're dealing with someone who's not like the others. Once again, confidence is the key. Let's remember that when calling a prospect, always open with the reason why you're calling them today. Afterwards, make a huge claim early in the call and be prepared for objections. If you can handle them properly without missing the beat, your chances of closing the appointment and or gaining future business will greatly increase, up to 300%. Additionally, it helps you immensely to always start your reply to any objection by acknowledging and agreeing with the prospect's objection. Included below is a list of shipper objections and responses that I personally use and have consistent success with. Not interested, or I'm not interested in what you have to offer. Option number 1. Of course you're not interested. How could you be? You don't have enough information to be interested, and that's why I'm calling. Last thing I want to do is waste your time. All I need is 45 seconds of your time to see if we could be a fit. Is now a good time for you? Option number 2 on the same objection. Of course you're not interested. It wouldn't make any sense if you were interested right now, and that's why I'm calling you today. Can we take 45 seconds right now to learn more about your operation to see if this would be a good fit or not? I'll even hang up on myself at 45 seconds if you don't see a value by then. Does that sound good? Personal note, be positive from the start to the finish of the call. Regardless of anything, keep your interest up or they're not going to be interested. By keeping your interest up, they might honestly pay attention. Here's the next one. I'm too busy right now, or I don't have time to talk. First thing out of my mouth is going to be, I understand. I know you're busy, and that's why I'm calling. You have 40 seconds to see if this will be a good fit or not. The last thing I want to do is waste your time. Another option, I understand that you're busy and you don't have time, and I appreciate that. When would be a good time other than now that you can give me 40 seconds? 40 seconds is all I need. The last thing I want to do is waste your time. Another one, I absolutely understand you're busy and don't have time. And honestly, that's why I'm calling you today. It's the busy people and people who don't have time that I specialize in helping the most. When could you give me 35 seconds to see if this will be a good fit or not? Last thing I want to do is waste your time. Personal note, people who are busy don't have time tend to have more freight and higher paying freight. And people who tend to have time to talk when you call are more likely to have fewer loads to move and looking for cheap rates. Pay close attention to that. That's why it's got italicized on it. Okay. The last kind of person you want to hang out with is somebody who wants to chew the fat and talk about how bad the pay rates are. Okay. I'm happy with my current freight broker I use, or I'm happy with the carriers I use, or I'm already using your competition, or I'm happy with the current third-party logistics company we use, so we are good, thank you though. Or we are already using another company. Right off the bat, option number one, I'm going to say, hey, I understand. Almost everyone I talk to today is already working with someone else. My goal here is, in this call, is to simply provide you with enough information so that you can see if there might be another alternative. And maybe there's not. I only need 2 minutes of your time to see if this would be a good fit or not. The last thing I want to do is waste your time. Would that be okay with you? Second option, of course you're already working with someone else, I understand. And if you'll allow it, let me take 45 seconds and show you why you would want to replace them or consider another alternative. After 45 seconds, all you'll be lost at 45 seconds. And even if I hang up on myself, you don't see any value. The last thing I want to do is waste your time. Final note, why not have 2 vendors to work with, or why not have a backup vendor or another option? What is there to lose? Here you go. Here's a classic. Just send an email or email me over some info. Best response. Think about it now. Excellent. I'd be happy to. In fact, I want to email you right now, or better yet, text it to you. And I'll spend 10 seconds going over the information with you so you could really understand it. What's your best email? While I'm sending that over, may I ask you a couple of quick questions to learn more about your operation to see if we could be a good fit or not? The last thing I want to do is waste your time. No, be cool, calm, collected, and respond quickly when info is requested from you via email or text. The faster you can respond to their request for information, the more it increases your odds of an appointment or future business. Our customers use their own trucks. We hear this 30 or 40 times a day, right? The best response. I understand, and actually I have a few customers whose customers use their own trucks. And I know there continues to be times when their customers' trucks are not available. Has that ever happened before? Do you think it might be beneficial to you and your company to have a source of trucks if and when that situation occurs? The above examples are some of the most common objections you will be faced with when you're talking to shipper prospects. But shippers are not the only people you will have to call. After all, how do you expect to be able to move their freight if you don't have a network of carriers to tap into and utilize? The scenarios on the following pages illustrate some of the most common objections you'll come across when talking to carriers, as well as how to best handle them and convert the prospects into a carrier you can use for your loads that you broker. Call me next month or next quarter. Absolutely, I'd be more than happy to. Act as if you're relieved and excited that they said next quarter because you're so busy. Next quarter works great for us. It's actually better than right now. I'm going to send you everything you need to know so that next month or next quarter we can talk. When are you thinking in the next quarter? Is it the first of the month, second of the month, third of the month? Option 2. In fact, if you know for sure you want to start in whatever month, X month, I'm not saying you do or don't, only you know that. I'll only send you a shipper setup pack and we'll date it for whatever month. That way when the next quarter gets here, we'll be ready to execute. I can send it over by email or text, which one works best for you. And how you handle people, you're responsible for how they will respond to you. Option number 3, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to send you over the shipper setup packet. Let's date it for X month and day. I'll put you in my VIP queue. That way you're set up perfectly and we'll give you the time you need. Give the shipper, the customer, a sense of comfort. No. Be willing to waste the lead by pushing it this far. Stay on the call. They know what you're doing and will respond positively because they want their salespeople to do the same. Could you put me back on your callback list for next quarter? Option 1 says, excellent. Absolutely, that works for me. Be and sound positive here. Let me ask you something. When can you give me 4 minutes? 4 minutes, not for me to sell you, not to change your mind. 4 minutes for me to show you something I can only show you over the video, FaceTime, Zoom, whatever. I promise you in 4 minutes I'm going to do everything I can not to change your mind, but everything I can to show you why you would actually want to start this now. Of course, option 2, I definitely don't want to waste your time. Give me 6 minutes. Make it 4. 3 minutes, 20 seconds. That's all I need. You can prove me wrong. The last thing I want to do is waste your time. Option number 3, I agree. I knew you had a lot going on when I called. I knew doing something right now would be virtually impossible, and that's why I know this will work for you. There's never going to be a good time for you to call. The companies that I call, the business owners I talk to, the shippers I work with are so busy. They're always putting things like this off until next quarter. Give me 4 minutes and let me show you why I think we can fit this in. Make it work now. Make it work for you where it's 100 times your time, your energy, your resources. Because the last thing I want to do is waste your time. Notice how many times I've said that. What is your pricing, or how is your pricing structured, or what is your rate per mile? Best response from that. I understand completely what the price is important. I'm glad you asked. What shipments do you currently need to get covered today or this week? And I'll get you a quote right away. Thanks for the opportunity. So again, if they bring up pricing, you flip it right around. Let's get some freight. Let's check it out. After a quote, you're too expensive. That's crazy. Best response, of course, is too expensive and crazy. You know what's even more crazy? Most companies I work with were spending nearly double that before I called them and didn't even realize it. Once we added the time and labor cost of a shipment and the hours of time spent by the company employees chasing down paperwork, scheduling the shipment, chasing down drivers, dealing with issues or changes, late shipments, truck issues, we soon realized my company would save them up to 20% in revenue the first month, while freeing up the employees and business owners so they could focus on their business and increase their revenue. I don't know if we can do the same for you, but that's why I'm calling them, because the last thing I want to do is waste your time. How about this one, guys? We're slow right now. Best response. I understand completely. That's why I'm calling you today. I know when it picks up again, you won't be able to have this call. You'll be too busy. Would you be okay with taking advantage of the slow time now if you've got 4 minutes? If yes, then start asking your sales questions and gather your great info. If no, then ask if they have 4 minutes right after lunch tomorrow. They're going to say this all the time. I have to talk to the decision maker. If it was up to me, I would try you for sure. Best response from that. Excellent. Great, great, great. Clearly be excited here with high positive energy. Let's set them up with something they can look at. How many people are we talking here? What's their names, their titles? Note, if you're presented with the names, then ask the prospect what each one would say or feel about this so far. Get any insight on whose opinion matters most. See if you can narrow down who's more than one decision maker. Find out which ones do not like it, which ones would. Have them guess if they don't know. If it's narrowed down to one person, that's what their biggest pain point is lately. And there you have it. Like I said from the beginning, these are just some of the common objections that you run into on calls with both shippers and carriers, as well as my tried and true methods for maneuvering them and handling them. Of course, you'll come across more once you start making the calls. It's important to remember is to be confident, agree with their objections, and walk them through the objection to bring them to the sale or future appointment on the other side for a call to discuss further.